Hare Krishna. Welcome to our Saturday Bhagavad Gita class. Let's chant the Mangalacharan prayers. Om Ajnanatimmirandhasya Jnananjanashalakaya Chakshur Unmilitam Yena Tasmai Shri Guruve Namaha Shri Chaitanya Mano Abhishtam Sthapitam Yena Bhutale Swayam Rupah Kada Mayyam Dadati Swapadantikam Vandeham Shri Guru Shiyuta-padakamalam Shri-Gurun Vaishnavanscha Shri-Rupam Sagrajatam Sahagada Raghunathanvitam Tam Sajivam Satvaitam Savadhutam Parijana Sahitam Krishna Chaitanya Devam Shri Radha Krishna Padan Sahagana Dalita Shri Vishakhanvitamscha He Krishna Karuna Sindhu Dinabandhu Jagatpate Gopesha Gopika Kanta Radha Kanta Namostute Tapta Kanchana Gaurangi Radhe Vrindavaneshwari Vrishabhanu Sute Devi Pranamami Hari Priye Vanchakalpatarubhyascha Kripa Sindhubhya Evacha Patitanam Pavanebhyo Vaishnavebhyo Namo Namaha Nama Om Vishnupadaya Krishna Presthaya Bhutale Srimate Bhaktivedanta Swamin Iti Namine Namaste Saraswate Deve Gauravani Pracharine Nirvishesha Shunyavadi Paschatya Deshatarine Jaya Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhar Shri Vasadi Gaura Bhakta Vinda Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna. So, second chapter, contents of Gita summarized. And we have completed almost the first half of the first section. That is, first 6 verses. We are yet to go through the other verses of this chapter. So, outline, just want to repeat that Arjuna is still asking his more and more doubts. But in that process, he also starts slowly surrendering himself from verse 1 to verse 10 of this chapter. He starts to surrendering himself. From 11 to 30, he gets jnana. He talks about the jnana. And Krishna talks about the Jnana Kanda of, Bhagavad Gita section of our scriptures. 31 to 37 talks about the Karma Kanda rituals. And 38 to 53 talks about the Buddhi Yoga. And from 54 to 72, Krishna talks about Samadhi. There are various stages in which the bhakti can be taken up and can be done. So for Arjuna's further doubts, which are beginning of his surrender, as I said, from 1 to 10. So looking at that, Dhritarashtra was very happy to hear that Arjuna was so bewildered. But this was short-lived. As the name Madhusudan means the killer of the Madhu demon. And Krishna is now going to kill the doubts in Arjuna's mind like he killed the demon Madhu. So Krishna does not appreciate the sentiments of Arjuna, and he calls him what? Anarejustram asvargam akirti karam Arjuna. Right? Remember all this? Yeah. And Krishna expresses dissatisfaction again by calling Arjun an impotent and Kshudram hridaya dorbalyam, and that is the petty weaknesses of the heart. And then he asked him, where did you learn all this from? How come these kind of doubts are coming to your mind? You are such a great warrior, and how can you think like this, So Krishna's doubts, Krishna's questions are very, very appropriate. Kutaswam kashmalabidam. Kutaswam kashmalabidam vishame samupasthitam. Anarayushtam aswargam akirtikaram Arjuna. And that's why he is actually chastising him so heavily. And by this chastisement, Arjuna is actually able to awaken his real warrior quality in him. And he starts to think, oh, what Madhusudana is saying is absolutely correct. So he brings up an important point. The need for a spiritual master is required when these kind of miserly weaknesses are awakened in somebody's heart. These are miserly weaknesses. Kamzor, hridaya dorbalyam, these kind of weaknesses are coming out of somebody's heart. So he should be told that what is your actual situation, your position should have been, and how you are behaving at the moment. You are coming under the miserly weaknesses of the heart. Come up, uttishtha jagrita. So all Vedic literatures advise us to approach a bona fide spiritual master to get free from the perplexities of life, which happen without our desire. So they are like a forest fire that somehow blazes without being set by anyone. Similarly, the world situation is such that perplexities of life automatically appear. They don't tell you before, pehle telegram aa gaya, and then they are, waking up in your heart. It doesn't happen that way. They automatically will come. So the Vedic wisdom therefore advises that in order to solve the perplexities of life and to understand the science of the solution, one must approach a spiritual master who is in the disciplic succession. A person with a bona fide spiritual master is supposed to know everything. One should not therefore remain in material perplexities, but should approach a spiritual master. What does spiritual master do? He asks you to transcend from where you are. From the material level, transcend yourself. Come above that. And then look at the situation. You have to come out of those material propensities, material consciousness, to come to the spiritual consciousness and look at it. So in the last chapter, also we discussed about that. Arjun finishes expressing his doubts, and then Krishna prepares to reply him. So Krishna is very, what do you call, smiling at him, but Krishna is also becoming very grave and not just friendly. He's actually got very annoyed with him, saying, what is happening to you? And he opens a discussion before all the warriors on the battlefield. And Srila Prabhupada, in his purport, he writes that it appears that the talk between the master and the disciple was openly exchanged in the presence of both armies, so that all were benefited. So the talks of the Bhagavad Gita are not for any particular person, or they're so confidential that it's happening in a closed room kind of a discussion. It is happening in front of the two armies. Those who are intelligent enough to understand, they only will get the nectar of it. Those who don't want to understand, nobody can help them. Yeah. So Bhagavad Gita is not for a particular person, society, or community, but it is for all. And friends and enemies, whoever was present in the Dharma Kshetra, Kurukshetra, everybody was listening. But how many got benefited? We all know that, right? Only Pandava side got benefited because they were very ready for it, and they wanted to listen to every word and every syllable that is coming out of Krishna's mouth, especially Arjuna. So now we do the remaining verses of this chapter. So we start from verse number 7. I chant, you repeat. Karpanya doshopahata swabhavaha. Switch on your microphones, please. Yeah. Karpanya-doshopahata swabhavah.
कार्पण्यदोषोपहत स्वभावः
Pruchhami tvam dharma sammudha-cheta.
पृच्छामि त्वां धर्मसम्मूढचेताः
Yashrehasam nishchitam bruhi tanme.
यच्छ्रेयस्यानिश्चितं ब्रूहि तन्मे
Shishyasteham shadhimatvam prapannam.
शिष्यस्तेऽहं शाधि मां त्वां प्रपन्नम्
Karpanya-doshopahata swabhavah.
कार्पण्यदोषोपहत स्वभावः
Pruchhami tvam dharma sammudha-chetaha.
पृच्छामि त्वां धर्मसम्मूढचेताः
Yashreyasam nishchita bruhi tanme.
यच्छ्रेयस्यानिश्चितं ब्रूहि तन्मे
Shishyasteham shadhimatvam prapannam.
शिष्यस्तेऽहं शाधि मां त्वां प्रपन्नम्
Karpanya-doshopahata svabhava. Pृच्छामि tvam dharma sammudha-chetaha.
कार्पण्यदोषोपहतः स्वभावः पृच्छामि त्वां धर्मसम्मूढचेतः
Yashreyasam nishchitam bruhi tanme. Shishyasteham shadhimatvam prapannam.
यच्छ्रेयः स्यानिश्चितं ब्रूहि तन्मे शिष्यस्तेऽहं शाधि मां त्वां प्रपन्नम्
Arpanya-doshopahata svabhava. Pृच्छामि tvam dharma sammudha-chetaha. Yashreyasam nishchita bruhi tanme. Shishyasteham sadhimatvam prapannam.
कार्पण्यदोषोपहतः स्वभावः पृच्छामि त्वां धर्मसम्मूढचेतः यच्छ्रेयस्यानिश्चितं ब्रूहि तन्मे शिष्यस्तेऽहं शाधि मां त्वां प्रपन्नम्
Arpanya-doshopahata svabhava. Pृच्छामि tvam dharma sammudha-chetaha. Yashreyasam nishchitam bruhi tanme. Shishyasteham sadhimatvam prapannam.
कार्पण्यदोषोपहतः स्वभावः पृच्छामि त्वां धर्मसम्मूढचेतः यच्छ्रेयस्यानिश्चितं ब्रूहि तन्मे शिष्यस्तेऽहं शाधि मां त्वां प्रपन्नम्
Wonderful. So who wants to take the first one? Who wants to repeat? Madhuri Mataji? Okay, go on.
कार्पण्यदोषोपहतः स्वभावः पृच्छामि त्वां धर्मसम्मूढचेतः यच्छ्रेयस्यानिश्चितं ब्रूहि तन्मे शिष्यस्तेऽहं शाधि मां त्वां प्रपन्नम्
Wonderful. Devi?
कार्पण्यदोषोपहतः स्वभावः पृच्छामि त्वां धर्मसम्मूढचेतः यच्छ्रेयस्यानिश्चितं ब्रूहि तन्मे शिष्यस्तेऽहं शाधि मां त्वां प्रपन्नम्.
Very good. Madhvi?
I don't have the Bhagavad Gita with me. So if you share the screen, then I can.
I don't use browser for. You can go. Okay. Let it be. Next time you should have, either you download Bhagavad Gita as it is on your phone. It's very easy. It's very few bytes only it takes. Translation by Srila Prabhupada. Srila Prabhupada ki jai. Now I'm confused about my duty and have lost all composure because of miserly weaknesses. In this condition, I am asking you to tell me for certain what is best for me. Now I am your disciple and the soul surrendered unto you. Please instruct me. So here he comes and surrenders him and accepts him as his guru. Now I am surrendering myself to you and asking that now I am your disciple and the soul surrendered unto you. Please instruct me. Now please tell me what am I supposed to do. I am totally have lost my composure because of my miserly weaknesses. In this condition, I am asking you to tell me for certain what is best for me and what I should do. I am surrendering myself to you. Yeah. And please, everyone should use the hard copy of Bhagavad Gita every time you come to the class. Okay. I'm very clear on these instructions. So please always remember, we are travel with the Bhagavad Gita with you. Okay. But traveling with Bhagavad Gita means Krishna is with you all the time, So let's take it that way. All right. So purport by Srila Prabhupada. Who wants to read it? Anyone who wants to? Okay, Madhuri Bhataji, as always. Unmute yourself. We can't hear you.
By nature's own way, the complete system of material activities is a source of perplexity for everyone. In every step, there is perplexity, and therefore, it behooves one to approach a bona fide spiritual master who can give one proper guidance for executing the purpose of life. All Vedic literatures advise us to approach a bona fide spiritual master to get free from the truth get free from the perplexities of life which happen without our desire. They are like a forest fire that somehow blazes without being set by anyone. Similarly, the world situation is such that perplexities of life automatically appear without our wanting such confusion. No one wants fire, and yet it takes place, and we become perplexed. The Vedic wisdom therefore advises that in order to solve the perplexities of life and to understand the science of the solution, one must approach a spiritual master who is in the disciplic succession. A person with a bona fide spiritual master is supposed to know everything. One should not, therefore, remain in material perplexities but should approach a spiritual master. This is the purport of this verse. Who is the man in material perplexities? It is he who does not understand the problems of life. In the Brihat Aranyaka Upanishad 3.8.10, the perplexed man is described as follows. Yo va etad aksaram garge
Gargi.
garge gargi
Advitiya Smal.
advitiyasmal lokat
Praiti
praiti
Sakripanaha.
praiti sakrupunaha. He is a miserly man who does not solve the problems of life as a human and who thus quits this world like the cats and dogs without understanding the science of self-realization. This human from form a life is a most valuable asset for the living entity who can utilize it for solving the problems of life. Therefore, one who does not utilize this opportunity properly is a miser. On the other hand, there is the Brahmana, or he who is intelligent enough to utilize this body to solve all the problems of life. Ya etad aksharam gargi vidhi vidit
Vidittvasmal lokat
viditvasmal
vaitisa brahmanaha.
lokat preti sa brahmanaha. The kripanas or miserly persons waste their time in being overly affectionate for family, society, country, etc. In the material conception of life, in the material conception of life, one is often attached to family life, namely to wife, children, and other members on the basis of skin disease. The Karpana thinks that he is able to protect his
Not
family
Karpanya,
member.
it is Kripana.
Oh, sorry,
The
Kripana.
Kripana thinks.
Kripana, yes, the Kripana thinks that he is able to protect his family members from death, or the Kripana thinks that his family or society can save him from the verge of death. Such family attachment can be found even in the lower animals who take care of children also. Being intelligent, Arjuna could understand that his affection for family members, and his wish to protect them from death were the causes of his perplexities. Although he could understand that his duty to fight was awaiting him, still, on account of miserly weakness, he could not discharge the duties. This is therefore asking Lord Krishna, the supreme spiritual master, to make a defined solution. He
Definite
offers,
solution.
oh sorry, definite solution. He offers himself to Krishna as a disciple. He wants to stop friendly talks. Talks between the master and the disciple are serious. And now Arjuna wants to talk very seriously before the recognition spiritual master.
Recognized
Recognized,
spiritual master.
recognized, a recognized spiritual master. Krishna is therefore the original spiritual master of the science of Bhagavad Gita, and Arjuna is the first disciple for understanding the Gita. How Arjuna understands the Bhagavad Gita is stated in the Gita itself, and yet foolish mundane scholars explain that one need not submit to Krishna as a person, but to the unborn within Krishna. There is no difference between Krishna's within and without. And one who has no sense
And
of this
one who
understanding,
has no sense.
understanding in the is the greatest fool in trying to understand Bhagavad Gita.
All right. Good. So it's beautiful purport. We need to understand it scrutinizingly, So Karpanya dosha pahata swabhava. So Karpanya means Kripana. Kripana means the one who is miserly. So Karpanya is Kripana, miserly weakness. So Arjun was earlier referred that you are very weak and Kshudram Hridaya Daurabhatyam. So same point Arjun is telling, yes, I have become very weak. Karpanya dosho pahata swabhava. By a weakness I have overcome. I have overcome by the weaknesses of my heart. Apahat swabhava. So my swabhava has been overpowered. I have become a weak person now. So this is the situation. Picchamitam. I ask you. Tama dharma. I ask you, what is my duty? Sambudha chetaha. Mudha means murkh, or one who does not have buddhi.
So,
That is mudha. A sambudha chetaha. So I have become sambudha to please guide me how I should be. I should not behave like a carpenter. I should not behave like mad. And I ask you, what is my duty? And please awaken my chetana, samura chetaha. my intelligence is bewildered and my consciousness is deluded. What am I asking? Yashreyasyan nishchitam bruhitan me. I don't know what is Shreya. Actually, Arjuna himself says, what is Shreya? Just 2 verses earlier, he has said, Shreya bhoktam aloke in Bhagavad Gita 2.5. I think Shreya, better for me is to beg. No, is it really right? The Kauravas has done so much wrong, and it is my responsibility as a Kshatriya to act. So what I should do? Just completely undecided. So I don't know what is Shreya. So actually tell me what is long-term good for me. Syan nishchitam bruhi tan me. Tell me what is for certain my mind is going on in this track for one moment and that track for another moment. I have been, jumping here and there, both the sides, and it is going on multiple tracks. So it is leaving me undecided. So I don't know what to do. That's what the situation. So Shikshasteham, I become your disciple. Sadhi mam tam prapannam. Sadhi means instruct me, and prapannam, I surrender unto you. This is a very important verse in Bhagavad Gita. And Srila Prabhupada's purport is also a very classic purport for this. Prabhupada's purport focuses mostly on the theme of perplexities. Material world puts us in perplexities. If someone loses his job, he thinks, hey, what is the use of doing so many pujas, going to the temple, doing this, doing that? And now I don't have a job. How will I take care of my family? Why should I go to the temple? Lord is not looking after me. So we start suddenly doubting, doubting Lord. I've been doing so many pujas, still my daughter is not getting married. What is the use of, doing so many pujas, this, that, all? Suddenly start, doubting Lord's blessings on us, His mercies on us. But as soon as something good happens, we say, oh, I have done it. I'm so great. I have done it. That time we don't realize that because of His mercy, we are able to do something. If it doesn't allow us to do something, we'll not be able to do, not even us. 1 single centimeter also you can move from your place. So that is the power of the Lord. We should not underestimate the Lord. So this is a very important verse, as I said. For when we are put into perplexities, we should not start doubting the power of the Lord. When it is demanding, draining, and perplexing situation, no one wants it, but it comes, we should turn towards God. How we can surrender towards God. So, Shishyaste aham, Swadhisatthinatam prapannam. I surrender to you. Many times people say, I know Bhagavad Gita. Yes, you may know it intellectually, but truly do you know when you have to turn towards the will of the Lord? As long as we don't have the desire to do the will of the Lord, till that point, our knowledge will remain theoretical only. And we can say that, oh, I do know, but I do not actually know. So will of the Lord, you should know. And if you don't, then you do not know the will of the Lord. So that is fine. And that is why the Shastra is there for us. Shastra gives us guidance, what different devotees has done in different situations. And based on that, we know what the will of the situation will also, and know the will of Lord in the specific situations. So generally, the will of Lord is we should be Krishna conscious and we avoid the immoral activities. We have to know those things gradually in a specific situation. Also, we will come to know the will of God. So he says, Shishyasteham. Srila Prabhupada writes that about Brahman and Kripana. Brahman is the one who lives in such a way to seek absolute truth for long-term goals And Kripana will be very short-sighted. He will only see his gain, short-term gains. And so this is about Shreya. Shreya is the long-term goal. It is not a short-term goal. Shreyas, what is Shreyas on a longer perspective? That what am I going to achieve at the end? That is the Shreya that we should be looking for. That is not the short-term goal. कि अभी क्या मिल रहा है मेरे को? What am I getting now? That if we keep having a very short-sighted view, then we will not be able to have the long-term goal of doing bhakti. Bhakti we are not doing it for today, but bhakti we are doing it for tomorrow, this janma, next janma, janma after janma. Because this is a spiritual bank balance which is going to get built up every day, even this janma, the next janma, and janma after janma. Yeah. Krishna says, if a devotee or a person who is always remembering me and also remembering me at the time of death, who will remember him at the time of death? Who has remembered him all the life, throughout the life. He only can remember. So, yam yam vapis varana bhava tam tam yati kalevaram. So, the way you will remember me, that way I will reciprocate to you. Krishna says that. If you don't, you only remember me only when you have some work related to your profit. You will remember me. The rest of all the time, you will just forget me. This is not the way that you should be remembering me. All the time, 24/7, if you are Krishna conscious, then that makes a lot of difference in your life. Of this life, the next life, life after life. This is what we learn from our acharyas and how to remain fixed in our Krishna consciousness. So the miserly weaknesses, that is the bodily attachment, as Prabhupada says in the purport, attachment to the family, attachment to the relatives, and all these are bodily conception. And when we are attached to bodily conception, it leads to the bondage. It leads to suffering. It leads to complication in life. One needs to pull oneself away from all this so that one can focus on God. Arjuna has now overcome by bodily attachment and unable to think what is right and what is wrong. So if we see our relatives as devotees, then it is spiritual. If we see our devotees as our bodily, part and parcels. So Prabhupada said that we all need spiritual masters in our life. Do you think how many times we can turn to Guru seeking the advice? Spiritual master is not only a person. A spiritual master is definitely a person, but he is also a principle. Spiritual master is a Guru, Tattva, a representative of Krishna. Krishna manifests to us through spiritual master, through Guru, Sadhu, Shastra, and the Sangha of devotees. By other devotees when we remain in the association of devotees. So, three things are very important: Sadhu, Shastra, and a Sangha to remain in Krishna consciousness. How will we get that at home? When we have favorable people in house. Even if we don't have favorable, they are not talking about Krishna all the time, but at least to start feeding them the prasadam. Slowly they will turn into Krishna consciousness. So this is the way we can do it. We should do our endeavor. God will give you his blessings and he will give mercy upon us so that everything else will change around us. Any question? Verse number 8. Nahi prapashyami mamapanudyad. You need to unmute yourself.
Nahi prapashyami mama punadhyad.
Yachokamachoshtanamindriyanam.
यच्छोकमुच्छोषणमिन्द्रियाणाम्
Avapya bhumavasapannamriddham.
अवाप्य भूमावसपन्नमृद्धम्
Rajam suranamapi chadhipatyam.
राज्यं सुराणामपि चाधिपत्यम्
Nahi prapashyami mamapanudyad.
न हि प्रपश्यामि ममापुनद्यात्
Yachokamachoshtanamindriyanam.
यच्छोकमुच्छोषणमिन्द्रियाणाम्
Avapya bhumavasapannamriddham.
अवाप्य भूमावसपन्नमृद्धम्
Rajam suranamapi chadhipatyam.
राज्यं सुराणामपि चाधिपत्यम्
Nahi prapashyami mamapanudyad yachokamachoshtanamindriyanam.
न हि प्रपश्यामि ममापुनद्यात् यच्छोकमुच्छोक्षणमिन्द्रियाणाम्
Avapya bhumavasampannamriddham rajam suranamapi chadhipatyam.
अवाप्य भूमावसपन्नमृद्धम् राज्यं सुराणामपि चाधिपत्यम्
Full verse. Nahi prapashyami mamapanudyad yachokamachoshtanamindriyanam avapya bhumavasampannamriddham rajam suranamapi chadhipatyam.
न हि प्रपश्यामि ममापुनद्यात् यच्छोकमुच्छोषणमिन्द्रियाणाम् अवाप्य भूमावसपन्नमृद्धम् राज्यं सुराणामपि चाधिपत्यम्
Okay, anyone wants to give it a try? Devilina?
नहि प्रपश्यामि मपानुमद्यम् यचो यचोच यश. No, I don't think I want to give it a try. This is too hard.
No problem. Madhuri, do you want to give it a try?
न हि प्रपश्यामि ममापुनद्यात् यच्छोकमुच्छोषणमिन्द्रियाणाम् अवाप्य वसपत्न राज्यं सुराणामपि चाधिपत्यम्
Wonderful. So this year in the Gita Jayanti, our team, this particular group, will chant second chapter of Bhagavad Gita in the Gita Jayanti. Okay? And Madhuri will lead it. But you need to make sure that you practice with others as well. So that, because when you will chant, others will follow. The full house in the temple room, they will follow. So all 4 or 5 of you will sit together. You will chant and others will follow. So, Saruni Mataji, can you read the translation, please?
I can find no means to drive away this grief, which is drying up my senses. I will not be able to dispel it, even if I win a prosperous, unrivaled kingdom on earth with sovereignty, like the demigods in heaven.
Wonderful. So I can find no means to drive away this grief, which is drying up my senses. I will not be able to dispel it, even if I win a prosperous, unrivaled kingdom on earth with sovereignty like the demigods in heaven. That's a big statement. So, thirdly, you can read the purport, first paragraph, second paragraph, and third paragraph. And the fourth and fifth will be Devi.
Although Arjuna was putting forward so many arguments based on knowledge of the principles of religion and moral codes, It appears that he was unable to solve his real problems without the help of the spiritual master, Lord Sri Krishna. He could understand that his so-called knowledge was useless in driving away his problem, which were drying up his whole existence, and it was impossible for him to solve such perplexities without the help of a spiritual master like Lord Krishna. Academic knowledge, scholarship, high position, etc. are all useless in solving the problem of life. Help can be given only by a spiritual master like Krishna. Therefore, the conclusion is that a spiritual master who is 100% Krishna conscious in the bona fide spiritual master, for he can solve the problem of life. Lord Chaitanya said that one who is a master in the science of Krishna consciousness, regardless of his social position, is a real spiritual master. Kiba Vipra, Kiba Nayasi, Sudrakeni Naya, Ye Krishna Tadva Beta Se Guru Haya. It does not matter whether a person is a Vipra, learned scholar in Vedic wisdom, or is born in a lower family, or is in the renounced order of life. If he is a master in the science of Krishna, he is a perfect and bona fide spiritual master. Chaitanya Charitamrita Madhya 8.128. So without being a master in the science of Krishna consciousness, no one is a bona fide spiritual master. It is also said in the Vedic literature, Satkarma Nipuna Vipro Mantra Tantra Visha Radha Avishnaivo Guru Nasyad Vaishnavaswa Pacho Guru.
Yeah, go on.
Oh, okay. A scholarly Brahman expert in all subject of Vedic knowledge is unfit to become a spiritual master without being a Vaishnava or expert in the science of Krishna consciousness. But a person born in a family of a lower caste can become a spiritual master if he is a Vaishnava or Krishna conscious. Padma Puran.
Yeah. Now, Devika. Devlina, can you read?
The problems of material existence, birth, old age, disease, and death cannot be counteracted by accumulation of wealth and economic development. In many parts of the world, there are states which are replete with all facilities of life, which are full of wealth and economically developed, yet the problems of material existence are still present. They are seeking peace in different ways, but they can achieve real happiness only if they consult Krishna or the Bhagavad Gita or Srimad Bhagavatam, which constitute the science of Krishna through the bona fide representative of Krishna, the man in Krishna consciousness. If economic development and material comforts could drive away one's lamentations for family, social, national, or international inabilities, then Arjuna would not have said that even an unrevealed kingdom on earth or supremacy like that of the demigods in the heavenly planets would be unable to drive away his lamentations. He sought, therefore, refuge in Krishna consciousness, and that is the right path for peace and harmony. Economic development or supremacy over the world can be finished at any moment by the catalysm of material nature, even elevation.
It is
Cataclysms of material nature, even elevation into a higher planetary situation. As men are now seeking in onto the planet on the moon planet, can also be finished at one stroke. The Bhagavad Gita confirms this. Krishne punne martya lokam visanti. When the results of pious activities are finished, one falls down again from the peak of happiness to the lowest status of life. Many politicians of the world have fallen down in that way. Such downfalls only constitute more causes of lamentation. Therefore, if we want to curb lamentation for good, then we have to take shelter of Krishna, as Arjuna is seeking to do. So Arjuna asked Krishna to solve his problem definitely, and that is the way of Krishna consciousness.
Wonderful. Very good. Thank you. Thank you, Sonali. So this one thing, let's try and make it a habit of saying Krishna and Arjun, not Krishna, Arjuna. That is it has to be presented in this way so that the people from Western world should be able to pronounce it Krishna. So because if you just leave it just like that without an A, then they'll not be able to pronounce it properly. So that's the reason we say the Krishna as Krishna, K-R-S-N-A, or Krishna, or Arjuna's Arjuna, like that. So, like Yudhishthira, no, Yudhishthir, Bhim, like that. Okay, so this verse is very important because here, Krishna is talking about that how Arjuna is putting forward so many arguments. And he says that Nahi Prapashyami, I'm not able to see how anything material can solve my problem. Bapat Mama Paunadhyada, now it can be driven away. How it can be driven away? How they can go away? Yaschokam Yaschoshanam Indriyanam. This choker, which means shoka. Shoka is called choker because of Sandhi rules of Sanskrit. Okay, here. So this shloka is frying me from within. What? It is drying up. It is drying up my indriyas and indriyanam. So when a person becomes very disturbed emotionally, the water content in the body decreases. And he feels the mouth is drying up. And similar kind of, feelings can come. And in this condition, Arjun is telling that avapya bhuma ashaptana riddhim. Even if he gets bhuma without any asaptas, means without any enemy of kings, there are many problems he is having to win the kingdom, but enemies may be attacking. But Arjun is talking about the dream material situation where there is a asapat. There is no enemies, and it is not only enemies, natural calamities like drought, flood, etc. could be there. So he is saying, Riddham, there is no natural calamities. Also, it is prosperous kingdom. So he is envisioning a situation which will be a dream situation for the king. So even if I get the Rajyam Shuranam Api Chadipattam, so even if I get a Rajya like that, and not only that, even I get a Rajya of Devatas and Suranam Api Chadipattam, that means even if I get a kingdom of heavens, even that will also not help. That will not dry up this grief that I have at the moment, which is my mouth is drying up, my hands are shivering, my body is shivering. So he is having a three existence in our three existence in dimensions are dimensional existences are what? One is physical, second one is emotional, and third is spiritual. So physical is actually the material existence. So we often think about physical level protection, physical gratification, physical titillation like roti, kapda, makan, bread, butter, like that. So these are important, no doubt. We need them at a physical level for survival. However, the emotional level also things are very intense. Even if physical level are comfort, but say problem with boss, wife, relatives, brothers, sisters, this, that, if they are also having a generation of conflicts within the parents also may, affect your life. Because end of the day, to whom you are interacting with other than the work related people. Most of the time you are not at work, right? you are at home, then you are dealing with your family members, you are dealing with your relatives. So when you are dealing with them, the problems may occur because of our relationship with them. And those problems can culminate into such things where you have bigger problems coming up for you. So better, we should be looking at not only physical or emotional, but we should be looking at from the spiritual angle. So our emotional level is between material and spiritual. So we can get emotions about material things. We can get emotions about spiritual things. So when we get emotions about spiritual things like Krishna and Krishna's devotees, those emotions lift us up. It will take us closer to Sri Krishna. If we think about material emotions, these emotions drag us down. They keep us entangled in material life. So with this emotion between material and spiritual, what is the way out? We have to make sure that our emotions are connected to Krishna. Then they will lift us out of existence. So in first chapter, Arjuna has not talked about emotional perspective. He has talked about physical perspective, this life or next life. It was not devotional perspective, but a spiritual perspective. So if our emotional needs are connected to material, it will cause only trouble. So only when emotion is connected with Krishna, then there is purification, elevation, liberation, and liberation not only from miseries, but release into ecstasy. Then we become happy. So we have to see from the emotional and spiritual, both the point of view, combine these together in order to understand the whole situation like that. Do you understand anything or just going, going as a bouncer? No, it's difficult. You may have to, read it a couple of times, more times, read this purport many times, then only you will be able to understand. Because, see, attending the class is one aspect of remaining in touch with the Shastra. The other aspect is that you read the Prabhupada books, listen to the lectures, not only mine, but else others also. There are so many acharyas, they are giving beautiful lectures on subject matter. Listen to them as well. Because every acharya will give his few cents into your knowledge. Jnana is more important, apart from the practice. So we decide or dissect our courses in two ways. One is to understand the theoretical part of it, then we understand the process perspective. What is the theory? What is the process? What is the theory? What is the process? And how to practice that process is actually the action in a spiritual sense. So we understand first the theory, then we understand the process, and then we practice that process in order to do the actual execution of our devotional service, in order to completely getting into our day-to-day life, so that we can live the life of a Krishna conscious person. Okay, what is the time now? Do we have another 5-10 minutes or next week? What is the call? Can we do one more verse?
Yeah, let's do 9.
Okay. Sanjay Uvacha
Sanjay Uvacha.
Sanjay Uvacha
Eva Bhukta Rishikesham Gudakeshah Parantapah
Eva Bhukत्वा ऋषिकेशम् गुडाकेशः परन्तपः
Nayotcha iti Govindam Mukta Tushtim Babhuvah.
न योत्स्य इति गोविन्दम् मुक्त्वा तूष्णीं भवः.
Sanjay Uvacha eva mukta rishikesham gudakeshah parantapah na yotsa iti govindam ukta tushniva bhuvah.
Sanjaya Uvacha Eva Muktva Rishikesham Gudakeshah Parantapah Na Yotsya Iti Govindam Ukta Tushnim Babhuvaha.
Sanjay Uvacha Eva Mukta Rishikesham Gudakeshah Parantapah Na Yotsa Iti Govindam Ukta Tushnim Babhuvaha.
Sanjaya Uvacha
Eva
Eva
muktatva
Muktva
rishikesham
Rishikesham Gudakeshah Parantapah Na Yotsya Iti Govindam Ukta Tushni Babhuvaha.
Any more attempts? Or you are okay with this? Yeah? We'll be able to chant?
Yeah.
Okay. Translation by Srila Prabhupada Ki Jai. Sanjay said, having spoken thus, Arjun, the chastiser of enemies. Now here, he has said that Gudakesha Parantapa. Gudakesha means the one who has conquered the sleep. He is Gudakesha. And Parantapa, the one who is the chastiser of enemies. So there are two names are used here. Gudakesha and Parantapa. Sanjay is using these words specifically for Dhritarashtra to understand that you have dialed the wrong button here by taking a fight with Pandavas. He's continuously, reminding him of his mistake. Sanjay to Dhritarashtra is saying, Eva Mukta Rishikesha. Now, Eva Mukta Rishikesham. He is asking Rishikesh. Who is Rishikesha? Rishikesha is one who is the maintainer and he is the owner of all the Rishika. Rishika, everyone has the Rishikas on his body, So the one who is Rishikesha is the Ishwar of Rishikesha. So, and Gudakesha Parantapaha. Na yosya iti govindam mukta tushni babhuva. And here it is saying it to Govinda, I shall not fight. So Sanjay said, having spoken thus, Arjun, chastiser of enemies, told Krishna, Govinda, I shall not fight, and felt silent. And then he just kept quiet, felt silent. Though he is who? He is Gudakesha, he is Parantapa. And who is he telling it to? Rishikesha, the Lord of all the world, entire universes, all the universes. He's telling him that Govinda means the one Govinda, who is the master of all the senses. Master of all the senses is Govinda. So he's telling him, and he said that I shall not fight. And he felt silent. It just kept quiet after that. Purport by Srila Prabhupada Ki Jai. I am reading the purport now. The trust must have been very glad to understand that Arjun was not going to fight and was instead leaving the battlefield for the begging profession. But Sanjay disappointed him again in relating that Arjun was competent to kill his enemies. Parantapaha. Although Arjun was, for the time being, overwhelmed with false grief due to family affection, he surrendered unto Krishna, the supreme spiritual master, as a disciple. This indicated that he would soon be free from the false lamentation resulting from family affection and would be enlightened with perfect knowledge of self-realization or Krishna consciousness, and would then surely fight. Thus, Dhritarashtra's joy would be frustrated since Arjun would be enlightened by Krishna and would fight to the end. He was actually in a joy. And now, so good. Now Arjun is now going to fight, so we already won the war. That was Dhritarashtra's feeling. But then Sanjay again gives him a shock, saying that, no, now look what Rishikesh is going to do. Rishikesh Aman, and he's saying that Govinda, the one who is the possessor of everyone. Govinda. So now he is going to speak. So I will continue discussion on this verse next week. Yeah. I'll have to see, because next week I may have to change some time because I have a program to do in Jordan Springs in the morning. 11:30 to 12:30 is my kirtan, and then a little talk, and after that I'll come home. So I'll tell you. I'm not sure at this point in time that if I'm going to change the timing, but just leave it like that for now. But I will let you know. Okay. See you on Sunday, if at all anybody is coming for the seva in the temple. We have
Is it tomorrow?
Yeah.
2 o'clock. Okay,
tomorrow.
I'll be there.
Yeah, you'll be there. Anyone else wants to come? Devlina?
Not this Sunday. I have exam on 4th March, so anything
Oh, okay. No problem. Please study. Study करने तो पढ़ाई होगी.
पीट दो पहले ही पढ़ाई नहीं हो रही.
All right. So Madhavi, when are you coming back?
Oh, back on Tuesday.
Oh, okay. Close. Very close.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. Madhavi, see if you can come on Sunday
Yes, I will
for the
try.
service.
What time it is?
We
2 o'clock.
start at around 2 and finish by 4:35.
Okay.
And then you can go home. After eating prasadam, you can go home. All right?
Yeah.
Let's do a Vaishnava
Okay.
Pranam and then we close the class. Vancha kalpatarubhyascha kripa sindhubhaiva cha patitanam pavanebhyo Vaishnavebhyo namo namaha. Anantakoti Vaishnava Vrinda ki jai. Srimad Bhagavad Gita ki jai. Srila Prabhupada ki jai. Shri Radha Gopinath Bhagavan ki jai. Gaur Premanande Hari Hari Bol.
Hare
Hare
Krishna.
Krishna.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.